Welcome back guys to another video. All orcs belong to a tribe, but most also belong to a clan, a permanent social grouping of fighters of the same mindset, wearing the same colors and orc glyphs on their bodies and vehicles. The great green-skinned thinker Orkimedes once said that thinking is for gits, but everyone is a git, so you might as well think like some other gits. And that's how the clans came to be. With orcs, everything is simple. Orc tribes are constantly changing groups of greenskins, breaking apart and reforming, while the clan ties are more stable and enduring. Each clan has its own colors, markings, and ways of waging war. A tribe contains orcs from many different clans, so when tribes fight each other, orcs will find themselves fighting foes from the same clan. That's completely normal. For the individual orc's allegiance is to his tribal war past, not his clan. Even so, inter-clan rivalry is intense in most orc tribes. Each tribe is led by a warlord who holds this loose confederation in check and prevents civil war, and the tribes are split into war bands led by war bosses. There are a great many different orc clans, but there are only 6 that are found in almost every orc tribe in the galaxy: the Bad Moons, the Blood Axes, the Deathskulls, the Evil Sunz, the Goffs, and the Snakebites. So let's take a brief look at every clan. First, with the Bad Moons, who are the richest orcs, because their teeth grow faster than anyone else's. The Bad Moons are essentially the merchants of the orc society. They trade with other orcs to get the biggest guns, the flashiest war gear, and the best food, but are not concerned with close combat like other orcs. They have a greater proportion of weird boys in their ranks than the other clans, who use their wealth to dress flamboyantly. Too bad for them that they get dragged off to battle and used against the enemy like any other weapon. The signature mob of the Bad Moons are the Flash Kids, orcs with devastating custom shooters who have a taste for the best war gear and clothing, like Captain Badrak, the infamous orc freebooter who was kicked out of the clan for having too many teeth for his own good. Bad Moons love gold more than any other metal, and they favor strikingly battered golden yellow and black for their war gear, and they have more jewelry and piercings than any other clan. The Bad Moons clan take a snarling moon on a field of flames as their clan sigil. The Blood Axes were the first orcs to encounter the Imperium of Man and have picked up many human tactics, such as using camouflage, if you call wearing a flashy and bright colors camouflage, and retreating when they're losing. It don't count as losing, cause we can also come back for another go, right? Indeed, when they do retreat, Blood Axes will in fact return with large numbers. They trade with humans for war gear and vehicles, and have even worked as mercenaries for the Imperium at times, such as during the massacre at Big Tough River. All of these things lead followers of other clans to brand them as dangerously treacherous, cowardly, and downright un-orky. Most Blood Axes are backstabbing commandos, essentially serving as orc special operations troops. They wear combat fatigues and forage capes in shades of green and drab colors, commonly in camouflage patterns. This betrays the influence of imperial military style, as do the other personal adornments commonly worn by orcs of this clan. The Blood Axes bear the clan motive of crossed-blooded axes. The Deathskulls are looters and plunderers, who grab whatever they can from corpses on the battlefield, steal things from other orcs who are not watching. They collect anything that might be useful. The Deathskulls are superstitious even for orcs, and often paint themselves and their war gear blue, which orcs feel is a lucky color, to protect themselves from harm. You might find looted imperial vehicles in Deathskull armies, such as chimeras and rhinos. When dealing with the Deathskulls, many other orc clans will often find a few of their vehicles missing as well, and then suspiciously similar ones reappearing painted blue amid the ranks of the Deathskulls vehicle pool. The symbol of the Deathskulls is the horned skull. They also use skulls, other intelligent races' teeth as luck charms, and have more Gretchens than most orc tribes, as they are used to scout for and of course make off with valuables. The evil Sunz are dedicated to speed and making as loud a noise as possible when in combat. The evil Sunz have adopted the general Ork maxim that Tridons go faster as their clan motto. Evil Sunz prize fast vehicles like Ork war bikes, war buggies and trucks. The evil Sunz possess a larger population than normal of mech boys to keep their vehicles tuned and running. By far the largest number of Ork speed freaks come from the evil Sunz clan. An Ork's love of speed can affect his brain to the point of becoming addicted to the thrill of a wild ride into battle. Beyond even a speed freak's delirium, there are also flyboys whose need for speed has driven them into the air in search of ever greater thrills, piloting the Orks fighters and fighter bombers. If you are of the evil Sunz, then you must wear at least one red piece of cloth, but most of the red dye is used for red paint, which is another expression of this clan's obsession with the color red, and they resort to the use of blood when the red paint runs out. They like flame patterns, and many sport goggles and driving gloves whether they are driving a vehicle or not. The Goffs are the toughest and most brutal Orks in the galaxy. They are the biggest, meanest and most brutish of all their kind. The Goffs are specialists in hand-to-hand combat who prefer the battles up close and personal. They are fond of the stick bombs because these Orks grenades are held by hand and are good for close combat in trenches, ruins, bunkers and rat holes. Goffs usually carry a brace of hefty stick bombs stuffed down their blackjack boots. Goff armies muster a notorious sheer number of Ork infantry in times of war. A mob of Goff boys is usually at least 20 strong, and a true Goff horde has 100 times that number at its heart. When the Goffs go to war, the ground shakes to the incessant thump of thousands of steel-caped boots. The Goffs boast the greatest numbers of knobs and storm boys amongst any of the greenskins clans. All Orks love war and combat, and wage war as a way of life, but the Goffs live only for war. They dress mostly in black, with some white checks for relief, as they see bright colors as being un-Orky. Their symbol is the black bull's head, and Goff knobs almost always wear big horns on their helmets. And the most well-known Ork of the Goffs is none other than the warlord Deathskull Mag Uruk Thraka. The Snakebites prefer ancient Orky tradition to advanced technology, shunning things like force fields and armored vehicles, and prefer to protect themselves with war paint and riding into battle on huge boars wielding spears and choppers. Orks of this clan are covered in swirling red tattoos like coiled snakes. They are also known to cultivate hair squigs, so they can decorate themselves with extravagant crests and top knots. Other common features are wolf skin headgear and wolf belts, which add to their wild and primitive appearance. One of this clan's most distinctive elements of dress is their snake belts, which are fastened with metal buckles in the form of a snake. The totem of this clan is the venomous serpent. Their webs are toughened by allowing venomous snakes to bite them, hence the name Snakebites, given to them by the other clans which they adopted for their own. Ork Freebooters are not actually a clan, but notorious pirates and thieves. When an enemy vessel is crippled or foolishly tries to surrender, the Freebooters will smash their way on board, killing anything that moves and stealing anything that doesn't. When a war boss wants to invade a planet, he calls on fleets of Freebooters to see off enemy ships and clear the way for the Orks to get down to the surface. For this service, Freebooters claim scavenging rights as well as a fortune in thief, and a war boss must pay up if he wants their help, as Freebooters tend to vanish into the void if they don't get their prize. Whether the Freebooters fight alongside a war or tear around the void raiding planets and stealing ships, they often become disgustingly rich, leading many to become flash gits. Ork Freebooters are by no means always flash gits, but all flash gits eventually end up as Freebooters. Arrogant and boorish, a knob who fancies himself a flash git will normally alienate himself in short order from the rest of his tribe. Flash Git mobs will quickly take to the freebooter life. Fighting as mercenaries allows successful Gits to accumulate vast sums of wealth in a short space of time. Even better, they can spend it all on themselves without a war boss around to take his cut. They bedeck themselves with native finery, and even their Groot minions get stuffed into gold patent frock coats and brag loudly of their master's wealth. Flash Gits also sport profusions of piercings, furs, glyphs blades, brightly colored pirate garb, and extravagant hats. All of this showy nonsense does absolutely nothing though to hide the hulking, muscular bulk and bestial lethality of the Flash Gits themselves. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you enjoyed this, then surely you will enjoy this video talking about the worst of the traitor Primarchs, Fulgrim. So don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay tuned for more.